has a rich and beautiful history, one often traced to the struggle for independence from British rule. The then Gold Coast, as the country was known, hosted a number of political organizations. However, the formation of the United Gold Coast Convention (UGCC) on 4th August 1947 by the Big Six gave the impetus to the demand for self-government. The UGCC demanded self-government in the shortest possible time. Then came the United States and British educated Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, invited to become the General Secretary of the UGCC. Public dissatisfaction with the UGCC's non-drastic, non-revolutionary demand for independence found expression in a demonstration by ex-servicemen. On February 28, 1948, war veterans paraded through Accra in a peaceful march. However, 3 of them, Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Atipo, and Private Odate Lamte, were shot and killed by government agents who opened fire on the demonstrators. The Big Six, Ebenezer Akwaje, Edward Akufo-Addo, Joseph Boachi Dankwa, Kwame Nkrumah, Emmanuel Obechebi Lamte, and William Oforiatta were imprisoned by the British authorities from 12 March to 12 April 1948. Dr. Nkrumah later broke away from the UGCC and founded the Convention People's Party (CPP) on June 12, 1949. Opposed to the UGCC's call for self-government in the shortest possible time, the CPP's clarion call was for self-government now, a call to action that resonated with the youth. Dr. Nkrumah was arrested and imprisoned for sedition following violent disorders that occurred on January 20, 1950. But while in jail, he won a seat for the Legislative Assembly, with his party, the CPP, winning 34 out of the 38 seats in the Assembly. On February 11, 1951, he was released from jail and became the leader of government business. As they say it, one thing led to another, and in a keenly contested election on July 17, 1956, Nkrumah's CPP won 57% of the total votes cast. And on 6 March 1957, Ghana achieved independence, with Kwame Nkrumah as its first Prime Minister. And on 1st July 1960, the country became a republic and Kwame Nkrumah its first president. On 28 February 1966, the government of Dr. Nkrumah was overthrown by the Ghana Armed Forces and the police. A National Liberation Council (NLC) administration, headed by Lieutenant General Joseph Arthur Ankra, was formed to administer the country. General Ankra was later removed from office in April 1969, and Lieutenant General Akwesi Amankwa Afrifa became the chairman of the NLC, which later gave way to a 3-man presidential commission with General Afrifa himself as chairman. The commission paved the way for a general election in 1969, which brought into power the Progress Party government, with Dr. Kofi Abrefa-Buzia as Prime Minister and Mr. Edward Akufo-Addo as President. The Ghana Armed Forces again took over the reins of government on 13th January 1972, and Colonel Ignatius Kutu Achampong, who later became a general, was the head of state and chairman of the National Redemption Council, NRC. The name of the NRC was later changed to the Supreme Military Council, SMC. General Achampong was replaced by General F.W.K. Akufu in the Pali School in July 1978. The SMC was overthrown on 4th June 1979 in a mass revolt by junior officers and men of the Ghana Armed Forces. Following the uprising, an Armed Forces Revolutionary Council (AFRC) was set up under the chairmanship of Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. It's been 70 years, I mean 70 years, since the Graphic Communications Group Limited has been around. In 70 years, we have been telling you the nation's story and history, a day at a time, and factually too. Yes, long before Ghana's independence and long after the epoch event, GCGL has kept faith with you, our cherished readers and patrons. And as part of events to mark this momentous occasion, we bring you an insightful pictorial presentation of some of the major yet interesting political milestones our beloved country Ghana has seen. They say a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. And the lineup we present today, from the lenses of our own cameramen at Graphic, tells more than 1,000 stories. We take off from the Independence Declaration at the old Polo Grounds in Accra. This was where Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, then Prime Minister of Ghana, surrounded by the likes of Kojo Botio, Komla Agbeli Bedema, Kesley Archie Hayford, and Kwabeduse declared that our motherland was free forever. Here, in this picture, Dr. J.B. Dankwa, called the doyen of Ghanaian politics, is addressing a meeting of keen listeners. A lineup of beauties at the Independence Day pageant, and Miss Transvolta Togoland second from right, Monica Amekwefia, emerged as Miss Ghana 1957. The euphoria of independence was irresistible as it spread across the nation and beyond. And here, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah acknowledges the cheers of an excited people. No one could resist the festive mood at independence, young and old alike. These two young chaps, in their smart outfits for the occasion, take a sip at their favorite beverage for refreshment. Here, US Vice President Richard M. Nixon, from right, looks on admiringly as his wife Thelma Catherine Pat Ryan Nixon playfully engages a little girl. The first couple, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and his Egyptian-born wife Fatia, sitting in state. The Duchess of Kent, who represented Queen Elizabeth II at Independence Day, take on Prime Minister Kwame Nkrumah with some delicate downsteps. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah takes the oath of office as the first president of Ghana. The Duchess of Kent says thank you to her escort after one of her ceremonial engagements in Accra. Emperor Haile Selassie, with back to camera, decorates President Nkrumah after his installation. Soon, Queen Elizabeth II visited Ghana, and the British monarch is seen here walking through some streets in Accra. Queen Elizabeth II receives a warm handshake and is welcomed by President Kwame Nkrumah on arrival in Accra. Queen Elizabeth II is seen here giving a speech at a banquet held in her honor during her visit to Ghana. Those in the picture include President Kwame Nkrumah and his wife, Madam Fatia Nkrumah, and the Duke of Edinburgh. President Nkrumah is seen here with the visiting Guinean President Sekou Traoré on their way out after attending a function in Accra. First Lady Fatia Nkrumah is on a visit to a women's training center. Ghana's delegation to the Commonwealth in 1966 Prime Minister's Conference. And from left, we have Mr. J.W.K. Halley, Mr. J.B. Lomote, Major Festus Adai, and Colonel A.A. Afrifa. Major General E.K. Kotoka in the middle, in a conversation with pressmen after he addressed a press conference at the Ghana High Commission in London. Mr. K.A. Bedema, the leader of the National Alliance of Liberals, meeting party members during campaign time. Meeting VIP guests at the Kotoka International Airport in Accra, Dr. K.A. Buzia, Prime Minister, is flanked by Mrs. Adelaide Amponsan on the left and Mrs. Mary Oforiatta, who are both wives of ministers of state. Prime Minister Buzia and President Akufo-Addo at the swearing-in ceremony for the president. Mr. Alex Kwesi Saki, third from the right, President of the UN General Assembly in the company of diplomats accredited to Ghana. Dr. K.A. Buzia, leader of Progress Party, being carried by party loyalists at a meeting. Mr. E. Akufo-Addo, first from right, the chairman of the NLC Political Advisory Committee, and Mr. E. N. Omabo, chairman of the Economic Committee, are greeted on arrival at London Airport as members of the Ghana delegation to the Commonwealth Prime Minister's Conference. Head of State General I.K. Achampong in the middle has the floor in a discussion with officials and guests at a reception. Ashanti Regional Commissioner Colonel E.A. Bedu, standing, giving an on-the-spot disciplinary drill to some offending youths. General I.K. Achampong and wife Faustina Achampong join other guests at a ball to mark Ghana's independence anniversary. Guests at the Founders' Day celebration of Achimota School being led to their seats. They include General I.K. Achampong, Sir Dawda Jawara, Gambian Prime Minister, Prince Charles, and General F.W.K. Akufo. After being sworn in by General Achampong as Commissioner and Special Advisor to the Head of State, Mr. Joe Appiah is seen signing the register. General F.W.K. Akufo, the Chairman of the Supreme Military Council, paying his last respects as the body of Dr. Buzia lies in state at the State House in Accra. Flight Lieutenant J.J. Rawlings, the Chairman of the Provisional National Defense Council, handing over the reins of government to President Hela Liman. President Liman is seen taking the oath of office. Flight Lieutenant Rawlings is seen giving a helping hand to a clean-up exercise in this photograph. Chairman of SMC and the Head of State, General F.W.K. Akufo in the middle, and his men in a group photograph. Soldiers are seen here drilling offending civilians in 1972. President of Burkina Faso, Thomas Sankara, on the left, in a tete-a-tete with Flight Lieutenant J.J. Rawlings. A very emotional Fatia Nkrumah and two of her children on their return to Accra to make Ghana their home. Minister of Finance Dr. Kwesi Botwe delivering a budget statement. Sharing the table with him are Mr. P.V. Obing, PNDC Coordinating Secretary, and Mr. Ato Ahoy, Secretary for Trade. President Rawlings seated middle, and Cuban President Fidel Castro in cup, holding discussions during the latter's brief stopover in Accra. Those with them include Captain Kojo Chikata, retired, on the right. President Rawlings hugging his wife Nana Kunedu Ajman Rawlings during the then US President Bill Clinton's visit to Ghana. Mr. E. Akwaje, then the only surviving member of the Big Six, receiving a national honor from President J.J. Rawlings. Queen Elizabeth II being introduced to VIPs when she arrived in Accra for a visit. Partisan politics can be very beautiful as demonstrated here. President J.E.A. Mills invites his predecessor, J.A. Kufuor, to the inauguration of the 6-lane, 14-kilometer George Walker Bush Highway, commonly called the N1 in Accra. Electoral Commissioner Dr. Kojo Afarijan on the left, and his deputy Mr. David Kanga, addressing a briefing session for political parties. Former President J.A. Kufuor and President George Bush interacting with the press during a visit President Kufuor paid to the United States. Past and present. President J.A. Kufuor in a handshake with his predecessor, Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, at a public function. Speaker of Parliament Daniel Francis Annan, former First Lady Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings, former President Jerry John Rawlings, President J.E.A. Mills and wife Mrs. Nadu Mills, Chief Justice I.K. Aban, NDC Chairman Dr. Kobna Ajay, Dr. Esther Ofe Abuaji, former Director of the Institute of Local Government Studies, and Minority Leader J.H. Mensah. New Patriotic Party bigwigs. They are Dr. Kofi Kunedu Apraku, Mr. J.H. Mensah, Mr. J.A. Kufuor, Nana Akufo-Addo, Major Courage Koshigan retired, and Madam Gladys Asma in photograph here. Former US President George Bush Jr. tries his hands at pounding share nuts. Past presidents of Ghana. From the left, Flight Lieutenant J.J. Rawlings, John Agyekum Kufuor, Professor John Atta Mills, interacting with former US President Barack Obama during the latter's visit to Ghana. President Barack Obama addresses Ghana's parliament. President John Agyekum Kufuor displaying the country's flag at the Ghana at 50 Independence Day celebration. President John Dramani Mahama being sworn into office at Parliament House the evening after the death of President Atta Mills on July 24, 2012. President John Mahama being sworn in as president at the Independence Square. The flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on the left, interacting with the then Vice President John Dramani Mahama at the Chebi Ojura Deba in 2011. School children put up a colorful gymnastic display during an Independence Anniversary commemoration. Pupils of the Ashiedu Keteke Sub-Metro School in Accra, led by a teacher in a smart turn-up at the annual Independence Day march past. Ghanaians turn up in their numbers to vote in the December 7, 2016 presidential and parliamentary elections, in which Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was elected as the next president of Ghana. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo takes office on January 7, 2017 as the fifth president of the Fourth Republic after the four Johns. They are Jerry John Rawlings, John Agyekum Kufuor, Professor John Evans Atta Mills, and John Dramani Mahama. We conclude with a just ended compilation of a new biometric voter registration exercise which captured over 16 million eligible Ghanaians. We hope you have enjoyed this selection of photographs. Look out for our next selection on a subject dear to your hearts.